Because this is what we're doing. In the beginning, we don't have money. We work until we have the first amount of money. Then you have it. You spend it. Whatever you have spent it on, it's not enough. It was enough for that one day when you spend it. There, the feeling of fullness or satisfaction was quickly there. But it's the same. In the beginning, it's a Golf, a Volkswagen, then maybe a BMW. One day, you just keep working, no problem. It's going to be a Porsche. But it's not going to end at the Porsche. Promised. Either it's going to be the second Porsche or it's going to be another car. In the beginning, it was not even a smartphone. It's like the big, huge ones. Meanwhile, technology has moved on. But it has become normal that we are just simply spending the money on things that, I don't know, it has become convenient. But it's not, nowadays, it's not even filling up any gap there anymore. Because in our tradition, we think, yeah, it's the wrong approach. Many people don't see the things as they are. What does it mean? For example, this picture that we had before, that it's always about up, more. It needs to be filled up more. Yeah, it's never enough. So you want something, you work for it, you get it. In the moment you get it, you already have the next that you want. And it always moves on up this ladder. You always try to fill it up with something. This is also maybe one type of approach that this society, this world nowadays also wants to.
Feeling love and compassion. As you exhale, imagine this energy permeating the entire city.
Now that you know how your brain actually works, it's time to update your approach to changing habits.
It has become normal that we are just simply spending the money on things that, I don't know, it has become convenient. But it's not, nowadays, it's not even filling up any gap there anymore. Because in our tradition, we think, yeah, it's the wrong approach. Many people don't see the things as they are. What does it mean? For example, this picture that we had before, that it's always about up, more. It needs to be filled up more. Yeah, it's never enough. So you want something, you work for it, you get it. In the moment you get it, you already have the next that you want. And it always moves on up this ladder. You always try to fill it up with something. This is also maybe one type of approach that this society, this world nowadays also wants to promote to you. That it's about having more, being more beautiful, higher, faster, harder, all of this. But when we simply observe how the things are, right now, yeah, it's 1 p.m. UK, looking outside, the sun is still shining, but in 7 hours, it's not gonna look like this anymore. In 7 hours, something has dramatically changed, which meaning the daylight is gone. So what we then have is what we call simply night. Since we are born in this world, this has repeated every day. Sunrise, sun goes down. So that means there is a up, there is a down. Since we are born, we have inhaled 50% of our times, we have exhaled 50% of our times. Our heart, the same. Sucking the blood, pumping the blood, also the same. Meaning always 50-50. Always the exchange between left and right, up and down, bright and dark, in and out, success and failure. It's just that this world is not propagating failure to you. It is propagating success to you. So our mind is looking for success, starting to believe there's only one way, there's only one direction in this life that we live, which is about moving upwards. But this world is not.
What's out? Welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. It's good to be in here with y'all today. playing the game as usual, as y'all can see. Hope y'all having a great and lovely, healthy mental Thursday, as I call it. Let me go. You know what I'm saying? Let me go. We're going to go ahead and get this motivation started. Hold on. Let me tell y'all what the topic is. We are getting access to our mind. Got him. Still got him. Let me see. Yep. Got it. Let's go. Yeah, we are getting access to our mind. So let's go ahead and get it started. Let me get y'all motivation in here before I get too lost in this game.
The reason people change is because of pain. The reason we grow is because we get uncomfortable and we embrace being uncomfortable. But being honest with the pain that we feel is usually the prime mover for people to do the work that is necessary to push to the edge.
Embrace the pain that you're gonna feel when you're trying to do something great. You have to understand, you have to know that with greatness comes pain.
Stop listening to the opinions of others around us that are saying, oh, you're never gonna make it. It's impossible. You can't do it. You will never make it.
Acknowledging our suffering, being in touch with the pain, that's enough to say, I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, this is not the person I want to become.
Like, I used to sit there and look at my class and my teachers and I'm like, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show all of you. You think I suck? I'm gonna be the biggest, best person on earth.
You need to immerse yourself in school. You need to go in deep. All you doing every single day is studying.
You're gonna get distracted from your goals, and all these things, arrows are gonna come at you all the time. Whatever your goal is, you have to get there. Even though people are gonna say you can't do it, even though people are gonna throw different opportunities, you know, I'm sure your friends went out 1,000,000 times to happy hour when you had to stay late.
Find out what it is you want and go after it as if your life depends on it. Why? Because it does.
Thoughts become things. Whatever you put out into the universe, you are gonna get back.
You have an opportunity to still be achieving. So get up and get on it. Because the weak will struggle. Success is reserved for those that are the strongest.
But you still got time to pass that class. You still got time to finish strong, all right?
Repeat after me. Education, equals opportunity. One more time. Education, equals opportunity.
School is like a privilege. Learning is a privilege. Getting your education is a privilege. Not a lot of people have that, surprisingly. I know the people in your city and in your school all have that, and it may seem normal to you at times, but it's not. You know, people wish to have education. People wish they can go to school and learn and grow as an individual. You know, it's not about just one math test that you have tomorrow. It's not about one grade. It's that if you do good on this one test, you're gonna do good on another test, and then another test, and you're gonna get an A, and that's gonna raise your GPA, and your GPA is what's gonna decide what college you're gonna get into, and then what your job will be. Like, it all adds up. You know, always try your best. Don't look at it as just a test. Don't look at it as just a class, a grade. Because anything that you want in life, you know, you're gonna have to work for. Nothing is gonna be given to you.
See, most people only ever focus on problems. All right, it's the world we live in today. We live in a world of media-fueled problems, right? You can't turn on the news without seeing problems, disasters, all the bad in this world. Now, most people focus on their problems and make them bigger than what they actually are. All right, this is where people are going wrong. If something bad happens and you make that problem even bigger and tell yourselves things like, this is always happening to me, this is never gonna get better, this is a big problem. Train your mind. Train your mind not to focus on the problem and make it bigger, but focus on the solution to solve it. Stay positive, stay focused, and most importantly, stay strong.
You know, I used to actually do my homework on a Friday, so I would enjoy the weekend. Mostly people do it on Sundays when they have to do it, but I like to just get it over with. It's so much better knowing you're done and you have free time and you can do whatever you want than have that on.
Hey, look, that's my girl.
Looks like you're getting a $3,200 refund.
Did she mention that at H&R Block, everyone gets their max refund or their money back?
On your mind while having the free time. You know what I mean? It's just so much better to get it done. You'll feel so good. Start off good. Do your homework. Do the best you can do on every single test.
I know I can.
Pause. I forgot to send out the motivation for everybody. I mean, the link to everybody. My bad, everybody. Dang. I got y'all. I'm about to send y'all out. Send it out right now. I keep it on pause for the time being until everybody can get up in here. Let me get out that game real quick. Copy link. Let me copy the title. Alright, there we go. And as soon as I paste the first one in there, I'll start the video back. Let me just send this out real quick. Alright, there we go.
Be what I want to be. If I work hard at it, I'll be where I want to be. I know I can. Be what I want to be. If I work hard at it, I'll be where I want to be.
Hard work pays off. You know, the classes I used to slack on and I didn't do that great in, it showed. In the classes I worked really hard on and I tried my best, it showed. You know, it made me realize that hard work really, really does pay off in the end. Your result might not show and you might feel like you're failing. You might feel like you're not getting anywhere and that you won't do good, but just as long as you try your best, just as long as you give it 100%, start off strong and finish even stronger. You got this, my friend.
If I could go back and give my younger self just one piece of advice, what would it be? Never give up. If I could give anyone just one piece of advice, what would it be? Never give up. It's so sad to see so many people give up on the life they want to live just because of the need to fit in. Fit in with parents, fit in with friends, fit in with society. Too afraid to dream of how great life can be because life and others have offered plenty of examples of what can go wrong. Plenty of examples of how hard life is, how much of a struggle life is. Well, I don't buy that. I believe everyone is capable of creating the life they want. I refuse to believe we are stuck. I refuse to believe in limitation.
We are capable of anything, if, only if we believe that. Because with belief comes action. With belief comes possibilities. With belief, we are open to opportunities.
When we refuse to give up on our dream, when we seek to find examples of those who have achieved the life they want, when we want to learn how we can make steps forward every day, when we are open to learn more, when we are willing to work for it, when we trust our intuition and follow our hearts, when we have the courage to trust the universe and reach for the sky, well, then anything is possible.
If you believe it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, there's no doubt you can be it. Believe in yourself. Shakespeare said, our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt.
Hey, what's up? Oh, yeah.
See, most people fear failure so much they don't even try.
Hey, we in here. What's up? Oh, getting motivated, getting ourselves right for the day. Hey, I hope you get a chance to stick around for this episode. It's sure to be interesting. I promise you.
Therefore, they fail by default. Achieving anything of significance in life will never be easy. But the only way you can guarantee not achieving anything is if you never try in the first place.
You do not know what is going to happen in the future. Anything can happen if you believe in yourself and are willing to learn how to make it happen. It might not happen right away. It might take you longer than expected. But if you are committed and maintain belief that in the end you will achieve your desired outcome, you will achieve your desired outcome. Never give up. Never, ever give up.
All right, y'all ready? Now, this episode of Expansion Pack is gonna be good. I'ma just shut up and I'm gonna let my mans talk. All right, he had a very, very interesting theory. Well, very, very interesting.
You the
he had a lot
realtor
to
of the
say.
year. Oh, we're hugging.
And I liked it.
Topgolf is introducing free playtime. Anytime. Waggles on a Wednesday, free. Saturday morning smile.
Here we go. Y'all tune in.
Life might not be a video game, but it certainly feels like it. So here is the tutorial and a review. I've been playing Earth video game since I spawned onto the map in 1981. I'm not one of the most experienced players, but I wanted to make a review or a tutorial here for you. I'm also going to share a few tricks on how you can hack the game. Closer to the end of the video, I'm going to share with you how to truly beat the game and get on the leaderboard. So basically, when you start the game Earth, you're dropped straight into the tutorial phase, and the developers call this childhood. And you learn the basics, how to interact, survive, and get by. But the thing is, this tutorial barely scratches the surface of what you'll need to know to play Earth really well and level up your character. In most games, when you choose a character, you get to break down all their strengths and weaknesses so you can plan accordingly. But in Earth, that is not how it works. The deep traits, the strengths, and the flaws of your character are kept hidden from you on purpose. You don't get any guide telling you what you're naturally good at or where you might struggle, and the developers designed it this way. You have to dig, you have to work, you've got to explore and understand who your character really is. And most players who play Earth spend their entire lives without ever fully knowing their character's true potential. And they get stuck playing Earth on the surface level, and they miss out on the depth that could change the way they experience the entire game. One of the goals that you get in the game is bringing new players into the game. My character recently committed to another character named Michelle, and we used the game mechanics and the in-game coins to bring another user into the game, and we named her Hannah, and she's just now starting the tutorial phase. And this is a hard mission, so I would wait until you think your character's ready, because the game mechanics make you literally walk the character all the way through the entire tutorial phase if you decide to make a new character. Even though they start going to a different map location where other characters are going to help them for like 8 hours a day. This is called school. So not all players get the same tutorial. Some get a pretty easy start, and some have to face some serious crap right from the beginning of the game. But no matter what kind of intro that you get, Earth hides a lot of key details from every character. And you might think you've got your strengths and weaknesses nailed down, but the truth is there's always more to uncover. There's abilities and traits that come to light through missions and unlocking new levels of Earth. So the true goal is to know your character really deeply. So the biggest mistake that players on Earth make is assuming that they know their character just because they've been playing it for a while. But if you really want to thrive, you've got to go deeper. Most people never reach this level of insight. They're too caught up in reacting to the game's weird randomness instead of taking the time to learn who their character is. The game developers didn't give you the answers up front, and they won't make it easy for you to find. But once you do, Earth upgrades from just a survival game into this badass quest of self-mastery with brand new level unlocks and a lot more coins after the upgrade. And then we have glitches. Here's one of the biggest things that nobody tells you when you start playing Earth. Your character is probably running way too many programs at one time. If you imagine having 50 tabs open on your browser all the time. So the game developers turned off the open programs alert by default. So most players don't even realize that it's happening. And these programs keep running in the background. They cause your character to lag, and they reduce our critical abilities, our focus, and our overall performance just goes way down. In Earth, these background programs could be anything from unresolved tasks, emotional baggage that your character tries to hold on to, distractions, or habits that just don't level up your character at all. And then we get into entropy. This is the silent killer. If you don't keep revisiting your systems, how you're earning in-game points and coins, and what you're focusing on and how you're playing, you're going to start trending toward entropy. And this is true for all video games. And entropy is the slow drift into chaos and disorder that stops your character from focusing on what really matters. So to beat entropy, you've got to study Earth. You have to study the mechanics of this game, its rules, its hidden systems, and the more you understand how the game really works, the better you can control your character's progress. But let's be very real here. Most players will not put in the time, which makes leveling up fairly easy compared to most games. And the good news for you is you don't have to do it alone. You can hire someone to hack your account for you, like a coach. Coaches have studied the game, they know the shortcuts and the hacks to get you back on track faster than if you try to just figure out the whole game by yourself. And another way to reset your character and close some of those open programs is by using certain glitches in the game. One of the most effective glitches might be psychedelics. And if your character is in a location where psychedelics are legal, you can find them in the in-game shop and trade some coins for them. The more programs you close and the better you manage entropy, the more you can level up, earn more coins, and do stuff that is fun. In Earth, there are 5
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you
5 key mechanics that no amount of AI or any kind of automation can really take over. And these are the pillars of real success on Earth, and every character has to master them. So number 1 is connections and love. Building relationships with other characters is one of the most powerful mechanics in the game, and they're going to really pay off for you in the long run. The second one is production. So meaningful work is a core mechanic in the Earth game. And this isn't just about grinding for coins, it's about developing purpose. So what you produce, whether it's physical or intellectual or creative, gives your character a reason to keep playing the game. It's super important. Then we have number 3, which is mindset. How your character thinks is everything in this game. Your internal game is just as important as the external, and there's no AI that can replace your ability to grow and adapt mentally. So choose good missions and good quests to take your character on. And number 4 is your overall character health. Monitoring your character's health is super important for taking the game's quests on and challenges. And this isn't just about physical health, it's about keeping your character in the best shape mentally and emotionally and physically. They have a lot of crap that you have to monitor, but it's totally worth it. And a healthy character performs way better, making it easier to get success and earn coins in the game. But it does get tricky. The game is filled with instant pleasures that look like you're leveling up, but it gives you a placebo. And these are things that give your character a quick boost, but there's no long-term benefit. Enjoyment, on the other hand, comes from achieving meaningful goals and staying aligned with your purpose. So the final goal of the developers is to get you to understand the game. Like, what is the purpose of the game? And this is the meta mechanic of the game. So studying the game itself. The more you understand the rules, the mechanics, and how they interact, the better you're going to play this game. And you can't outsource this to AI. And it's the difference between just surviving in Earth and truly thriving and leveling up your character like crazy. In Earth, the real secret to enjoying the gameplay is designing your own quests. And of course, the developers have pre-built missions and quests that you can go on, and they're almost limitless challenges that keep you busy. But if you want to play like a pro, you need to take full control. The players that are famous for getting the most points in this game don't actually wait for the game to give them tasks. They make their own, and they shape how their character's story unfolds themselves. So Steven Kotler, who's one of the characters in the game map right now, he wrote a tutorial called The Art of Impossible. He lays out a framework that's perfect for creating your own quests here on Earth. And you can think of these like custom missions that you get to choose rather than letting the game pick for you. So number one is curiosity. In Earth, it drives your character toward exploration and new levels. And the more you follow curiosity, the more unique and exciting your quests are going to get. If you ignore it, you're going to get stuck in a lot of predictable crap. The second is passion. This is your quest compass, guiding toward missions that matter. And when you connect what excites you with what you're good at, your custom quests get really easy to put together. And the third is purpose. So think of this like your ultimate quest line in the game. This is the legacy that your character is going to leave behind. Purpose-driven quests aren't just about completing tasks. They're about creating something meaningful in the game, something that allows other characters to level up themselves in a same or similar way. It's one of the ways that you can get the other players to put your character's name on crap all around the map, and they will talk about you after you exit the game. Then we have autonomy. Autonomy gives you control over your character's direction instead of accepting default quests handed to you. And then we have mastery. The more practice and refinement that you do to your skills, the more powerful your character gets. And this gives you tools to take on even more challenging quests, and it gives you more coins to use in the shops. And as a pro tip, build your quests that avoid your character's anti-vision, the dystopian future that you absolutely don't want in the game. Almost every player ignores this, and they never spend time to lay out the things that they do not want to occur. Once your quests get mapped out, it's time to build your mission goals, and you can think of them as checkpoints along your journey. These goals become the specific tasks that your character is going to tackle and level up, and they'll keep you focused on what matters and keep out of distraction mode. But then when it comes to distraction mode, there's something called the NPC trap. The developers added a trick to convert real players into NPCs, which is non-playable characters. If you're not familiar with NPCs, they're basically the characters in video games that don't have any real control over their actions. They just kind of repeat these routines over and over without any purpose or growth, like a shopkeeper or something like that. In Earth, this trap is very real, and it's right in front of us. Every time that your character gets sucked into social media, spends hours doom scrolling, politics, and basically you let the character get consumed by whatever media is making them pay attention to, you're walking right into NPC territory. One of the other ways they do this is by convincing you to keep learning and gathering information by taking game tutorials and never using that information on quests. Lots of game tutorials out there. Most people don't use them. They get addicted to the game tutorials. The developers don't want every player reaching the higher levels of development, so they flood the entire game with these distractions, and they make sure a lot of characters never get past a certain point. It's pretty brilliant. They seduce people with the easy stuff, and before they know it, they've become an NPC, just following trends and distractions that are out there. So all characters are prone to this, so be careful if you decide to try out Earth. Here's the way to hack that. The more you force your character to focus on what really matters, your decade, your year, your monthly goals, the less likely you are to fall into this trap. So keep your eyes on the long term. You level up your character a lot faster, and you get to complete missions and quests instead of wasting your character in low energy loops. They use low energy because it conserves memory processing for the game. At this point, you start seeing how much of the game is designed to derail you and how many people around you are stuck in the loop. And the difference between a real player and an NPC is that the NPC reacts and the player chooses what they want to do. So most of them don't even realize that their character converted into an NPC because they've been programmed by the game to believe they're still playing, but they're stuck on autopilot. Some of the NPCs we need to harvest coins, but most of the distractions are there to get you to take on smaller missions and compare your character's stuff to other gear so that you'll spend coins upgrading your skins and all the other stuff. Once you reach the end of the game, you get access to this character grading system that the game uses, and the game judges you only while you're exiting. Only when you're very close to exiting and leaving the game, you get judged on these 5 things. So here are the 5 secret things that the game is secretly rating you on to determine if you're gonna go up on the leaderboard. First thing is decision perspective, and it's love versus fear. This is the ultimate test in the game. Without ever telling you, the developers designed life on Earth to evaluate how often you can make choices rooted in love, empathy, connection, and compassion versus all those that are driven by fear, like self-protection and judgment and isolation. The highest rated characters navigate the game from love a lot more often, even when fear seems like a really easy pass. All right, so secret grading system number 2 is your connection to others. Points are scored for collaboration, deep understanding, forgiveness, the ability to dissolve the illusion of separation. And the strongest players understand that they're not competing, but are in this together. That's the ultimate trick, because when people think of the word game, they think they're in a game. They think that there's a winner and a loser, but that's the ultimate trick, is just getting this in your head and living that in your life. Next is your adaptability. The game is going to throw endless plot twists at you. There's going to be loss and failure, unexpected change. Those people who can learn and grow from adversity score a lot higher, and players who cling too tightly to control and resist change are going to lose points like crazy and not even know it. Next, we have authenticity. There is a hidden bonus for playing your character in alignment with who you truly are, and it's not about playing by society's rules or trying to achieve external success. The developers reward characters who are true to their inner voice, their passions, their purpose, which most people don't figure out until they're about to exit the game completely. Right. And the final secret rating that you're going to get when you're near the exit of the game is contribution. Points are tallied up for how much you give back to the game world. And it could be through helping other characters, sharing knowledge, or leaving behind something that benefits future players. And basically, if you fix things for characters or improve the game map somehow, you get points for that. So remember, Earth is full of distractions and auto-assigned tasks that can keep you running in circles, but the best players zoom out. They set their course and take control of how their story ends. So it's your game, it's your rules. If you learn the game rules well enough, then you can break them. That's how you beat the game. And that's how you get on the leaderboards, by playing it on your terms. And don't forget, you can always reboot your character when things get tough with a psychologist character or one of the NPCs who will accept coins to fix some of your settings. And the cool thing about the game is you're never really stuck in a bad spot in Earth unless you choose to be. Overall, I'll give it 4.5 stars, and it's really fun. I'm still in the game right now as I'm making this video for other characters. If you focus on the points that we talked about to really, truly win the game. Here is one more photo of the other character I connected with and the new character that we brought into the game who's in the tutorial phase right now. Your points also come from whether or not these new characters build points too. So you'll get points based on that as well.
Yes, sir.
If you're also in the main map, let me know, and maybe our characters will meet up with each other. So, you made it to the end. Most people don't do that.
Thank you for this tutorial,
so I know that you're most likely committed to learning these skills, and I'm willing to bet that you're one of the few people who realize that these skills determine true success, and they always have. If you want to level up your skill level and take it from a casual interest to a serious study, click the link in the description, and I promise what you'll see will blow your mind. So, until next time, if you're subscribed, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really hope you got something impactful from this video, and I hope that your day is the most powerful and meaningful version of it that it can be. Take care.
That was the bomb. I saw this earlier today when I was sitting and looking at today. I saw this earlier today when I was looking. Hold on, sorry y'all. And when I was looking for some motivational videos for myself to watch, so it really kind of set the tone for my generation of people here on this earth, to say we have a reference on what it is this is, or at least some good starting points, touching points, some good notes and topics, and a good review, like he said. He gave it 4.5 stars. Life here, I give it a solid 5 out of 5 at this stage. But I'm still here, like he said, and I'm still living. I got some other players that I brought here too as well. They out there living right now. I met some people here, and they living, and I hope the best for everybody within life. All right, now let's move on and keep on unlocking our mind. That was just the intro. Let's go. We must control our thinking. Come on, Sada. Sada Guru in there. He gonna talk to us real quick.
Sadhguru, I wanted to know that when we are silent, still we feel that mind chattery, which always bothers us, and our thought always shifts back to past and future imaginations, which will not be any of output. How to get rid of it?
Yes, sir.
There's a whole lot of thought about this thoughtlessness. Thoughtlessness, no mind, these kinds of terms have been propagated all over the place, and these terms have been badly misunderstood and made into all kinds of things, and people are striving how to stop my mind. It took millions of years of evolution to get a mind of this kind of capability.
Yes. Yes,
Isn't it? Millions of years of tremendous amount of nature's work, that today you have a mind of this kind of scope. And now you want to stop it.
Stop it, Sadhguru. Stop it.
Why is it that you want to stop it? If your mind was constantly producing absolute pleasantness for you, would you think how to stop this mind? Would you? No. It's producing a lot of unpleasantness. That's why you're thinking of how to stop the mind. This is the first thing. Wherever you go in the world, this has gone so much into people's mind. If you tell them you meditate, they say, "But Sadhguru, I'm not able to stop my mind." I said that will happen only after you stop your kidneys, liver, heart.
Yes, sir.
You stop all these things, then the mind will also stop. Do you want it to stop?
No, sir.
No. Then why do you want the mind to stop? Why do you have such a horrible prejudice against the mind? You don't mind if your heart is beating, you can meditate.
Yes, sir.
You don't mind if your liver is working, you can meditate. Your kidneys are functioning, you can meditate. If your brain functions, you can't meditate, what is the problem?
Yes, sir.
You seem to have something against intelligence, isn't it? This is the conspiracy of the stupid against human intelligence.
Right.
That to meditate means your brain must be frozen.
Yes, sir.
No. You don't have to freeze your brain. We were looking at this yesterday itself. We will initiate you into Shambhavi. It's a simple process. There are many ways to do it. This is one simple way. But it's a powerful process. If you sit here, you will see your body is here, Your mind is somewhere, who you are is somewhere else.
Yes, sir.
Once there is a space between you and the mind, then what the mind is not doing, what the mind is doing is not even an issue. It is like you're stuck in the traffic jam. You know, you're struggling through the traffic. That's one experience. Suppose you're either standing on Chamundi Hill or you're floating in a hot air balloon and look down at all the traffic. Very peacefully, traffic. Why? There's a distance,
Yes.
isn't it?
There's a distance.
When
yes.
you're in it, traffic
Jeez.
is a different
Yes, sir.
experience. From really high up there, sitting in a hot air balloon, you look down, you can't even hear the sounds. Looks wonderful, traffic, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Because there's a distance. So once there's a distance between you and your mind's activity,
Yes, sir.
mind is not a problem. Mind is a miracle, it is not a problem. And anyway, if thoughts are going continuously, if you're having a mental diarrhea, obviously you ate some bad food, isn't it? Yes. If you're having a physical diarrhea, you ate some bad food, isn't it?
Yes.
If you're having a mental diarrhea, you are obviously consumed something wrong. What this wrong thing could be is, the moment you identify yourself with something that you're not, then you're finished. Your mind is a continuous runs. There is no other way.
Right.
Do what you want, try as hard as you want, it is not going to stop. If you do not identify yourself with anything that you are not, you know how to be with everything, you know how to use everything, but you're not identified with it,
Right.
then you will see if you sit here, simply mind will be like this. You want to use it, you can use it, otherwise it'll be like this. Right now your hands are like this, or you're holding it tied up because it'll go all over, is it? No. You can keep it like this. You can keep it like this, you can keep it like this. When you want to use it, you can use it.
Right.
So it's a useful instrument. Suppose your hands become like this. You know, some people have become like this. Yes or no? If it becomes like this, you will become ridiculous, isn't it? If it happens to your mind, also you're equally ridiculous. It is just that you are living in the comfort that nobody else can see it. But people can see it. They watch you closely enough, they can see it, isn't it? And whether they can see it or not, that's not the point. The point is, the most important faculty of your life is out of control. Doesn't matter whether they can see it or not, that's not the issue. The issue is, the most important faculty in your life is out of control, doing its own rubbish all the time, not doing what you want it to do. So, if you have to be freed from this ailment, you should stop eating bad food. Wrong food or bad food means you're identifying yourself with things that you're not. If you sit here, if you're not identified with this and with this, then you will see everything is just fine. Then your mind will do what you want it to do. Otherwise, it will simply hang there, and that's how it should be. Mind should not be telling its own stories all the time. It should tell the story that you want it to tell, isn't it? Otherwise, it's quite a nuisance.
Sadhguru done put that info on us. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know me, I'm in the game right now. Try not to make myself look bad. Oh, I should have made that one. Hey, 6 habits, psych to go.
I have dealt with mental and emotional struggles for a very long time. I was also dealing with the fear of embracing.
Have you ever wanted to increase your own level of happiness? Or maybe you'd like to do something in particular to help raise your joy and well-being? Or maybe you've always wanted to experience an Ivy League education without the commitment. Yale University is offering an online course called The Science of Well-Being, where Dr. Santos reveals what actually makes us happy and recommends tips and exercises for increasing happiness in our lives, such as savoring our everyday experiences and appreciating them while they happen. Did we also mention that over 3 million people have enrolled, and it's the online equivalent? Make sure you click the description box below to check the course out. Hey Psych2Goers, welcome back to our channel. Have you ever wondered if there are some habits you could adopt to make your life a little bit happier? According to psychologists and research studies, there are some interesting habits that may just leave you feeling a bit more cheerful. Here are 6 helpful habits that will make your life happier. Number 1, read stories of wonder. Do you love to snuggle up with a good book and a cup of cocoa? While chocolate tends to make a lot of people happy, that story of wonderment you're reading may just make you happier. According to a 2012 research study published in the journal Psychological Science, awe can be elicited from reading a story, even a short one. Researchers Melanie Rudd, Kathleen D. Voss, and Jennifer Aker explain in their research article that awe offset the feeling that time is limited. And this increase in perceived time availability, Voss and Jennifer Aker explain in their research article that awe offset the feeling that time is limited. And this increase in perceived time availability heightened willingness to volunteer time. And it accentuated preferences for experiential goods and lifted satisfaction with life. They further explained that their studies also demonstrated that awe can be elicited by reliving a memory, reading a brief story, or even watching a 60-second commercial. So, that inspiring book you're reading, or that adventurous play that has you hooked? Keep reading. Your life may just be a bit happier with an awe-inspiring book, and it keeps you present and in the moment. As the study states, experiences of awe bring people into the present moment, and being in the present moment underlies awe's capacity to adjust time perception, influence decisions, and make life feel more satisfying than it would otherwise. Sounds good to me. Number 2, drink a healthy amount of coffee. Who doesn't love a good old cup of joe? I know I do. Many studies have found a link between how much coffee you drink and a lowered risk of depression and suicide.
Really?
In a large 2011 longitudinal study, researchers found that depression risk decreases with increasing caffeinated coffee consumption. They mentioned further research is needed to confirm their findings, but a good cup of coffee every now and then won't hurt your mood and alertness. Just make sure not to go overboard.
I'm gonna take a
Too
shot
much
of coffee.
Can be dangerous, folks. But just the right amount? Delicious. Gotta love those mochas. Number 3, don't focus on materialistic goods. In her book, Myth of Happiness, author Sonia Lubomirsky explains that a mountain of research has shown that materialism depletes happiness, threatens satisfaction with our relationships, harms the environment, renders us less friendly, likable, and empathetic, and makes us less likely to help others and contribute to our communities. While a new pair of shoes here and there won't hurt you too much, if obtaining these types of possessions are all that's on your mind, it could cost you a bit of overall happiness. It's best not to put the weight of our happiness only on obtaining these luxury goods. Make it a habit to instead look towards your values, socialization, self-fulfilling goals, and experiences as another way to get that euphoric feeling. Basically, do what makes you happy. The things without that expensive price tag attached to it. Number 4, make it a habit to be around happy people. A 2008 study from the researchers and professors James H. Fowler and Nicholas A. Christakis found that if you simply live within a mile of another happy person, your happiness could increase by 25%. The researchers wanted to discover if happiness can spread from each individual and whether niches of happiness form within social networks. According to the study, people who are surrounded by many happy people and those who are central in the network are more likely to become happy in the future. Longitudinal statistical models suggest that clusters of happiness result from the spread of happiness and not just a tendency for people to associate with similar individuals. A friend who lives within a mile, which is about 1.6 kilometers, and who becomes happy increases the probability that a person is happy by 25%. Although these effects weren't seen in coworkers,
The authors also mentioned that similar results were seen with happy spouses and neighbors who are within the mile.
I ain't got
Time
this
to thank your friendly
controller
neighbor
that's
for lending you that cup of flour. And thank them for a bit of happiness. Number 5.
Right.
Join clubs and participate in cultural activities. Thinking of joining a club or snagging those tickets to your favorite concert? One research study found that those participating in more cultural activities and clubs reported decreased levels of anxiety, depression, and an increase in one's general satisfaction with life. The 2011 study examined data on cultural activities, perceived health, and overall satisfaction with life on over 50,000 adult participants from Norway. According to their research, their results support hypotheses on the effect of cultural activities in health promotion and healthcare. Time to join the art club. Number 6, keep a journal of your feelings. It has long been believed that journaling can have a positive effect on one's mental health. Writing down your feelings each day is a great habit to adopt. According to University of Wisconsin-Madison, health psychologist Shilag Mirgain, PhD, therapeutic journaling has proven effective in the treatment of those experiencing post-traumatic stress and trauma survivors. The benefits also extend to those living with chronic health conditions such as asthma, rheumatoid arthritis, cancer, chronic pain, and even those who are chronically poor sleepers. She also explains that there is a growing body of evidence that demonstrates the beneficial effects of writing. Just 20 minutes at a time over 4 consecutive days was associated with a decrease in health problems, such as enhancing the immune system functioning. So it might be a good idea to write a bit in your journal before bed, and then divulge into that awesome book you've been reading.
Right.
So, which habits will you adopt? I'm working on journaling, and it really does seem to help. Do you journal before bed? Which book will you be reading? Let us know in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click the like button and share this video with a friend.
Yeah, I'm definitely putting this one on the rotation. Yeah, being in awe can slow down time. How to slow perception of time. Let me see. Let's see.
Hey smart people, Joe here. Every 23 hours, 56 minutes and 4 seconds, our planet makes one rotation on its axis. Time is always passing for all of us all the time, at a constant rate of 1 second per second in this constantly evolving instant that we call now, between a past that we can remember and a future that we cannot. But if time is this unchanging thing flowing constantly in one direction, then why does it feel like it's happening so slow sometimes? Like, come on already. And other times, whoosh, time passes right out of our grasp so fast. I mean, what's going on here? How can the same sum total of solar orbits and lunar phases, terrestrial rotations, or transitions of a cesium-133 atom be so constant, yet feel so different in our minds? I mean, these days, people are just having a hard time remembering what day it is.
If you're not at work today or you're working from home, you may be wondering, what day is it?
It's Monday.
Yes, sir.
What is it about COVID-19 that makes March feel like it was approximately 4.7 years ago?
What makes time feel fast
and slow? This is a stopwatch, and when you hear the bell, it's going to start. I want you to close your eyes, count off 7 seconds in your head now. Open your eyes. How close were you?
I was right on.
Some of you probably cheated and didn't do it, but those of you who did, you probably weren't that far off.
Right.
Which is amazing. Unlike touch, taste, or smell, our bodies don't have a sensory organ for time.
Right.
We do have an internal biological clock, but your body's timekeeping is tuned to circadian rhythms, the broad patterns of day and night. And like other animals, we also rely on astronomical cues and biological hormones to notice the passage of months, seasons, even years. But you have no internal timekeeping device that can accurately sense the passage of seconds, minutes, or hours.
I need to turn
Which still
mine
doesn't
on.
explain the constant, ever-present ticking sound, which I'm sure is a totally normal thing, right? Well, although there is no actual clock inside your brain, we now know that how we perceive the passage of time can be stretched or slowed. And scientists once tested this by dropping people off a 15-story building. Let me explain. Have you ever heard someone say that a car accident or some other life or death situation felt like it happened in slow motion? It makes you wonder if our brains are able to suddenly reach in and stretch out a second to give us conscious access to smaller windows or slices of time, like milliseconds, when we're super freaked out. Experiencing bullet time, like in the Matrix, when we're scared, might let us react better or escape to safety. So to test this, scientists dropped people from 150 feet up. They had harnesses and a safety net. Doesn't feel very realistic to me, but you gotta be safe, I guess. During the free fall, each person was asked to look at a display with flashing numbers. Only these numbers were flashing by too quickly to be read under normal circumstances. If a state of fright actually altered their time perception, they should be able to read the numbers while falling. So what happened when they were dropped? Well, no one could read the numbers. In scary times, our brains do not stretch time itself and allow us to perceive smaller moments. But still, the study subjects reported that their own fall lasted longer than when they simply observed someone else falling. Their memory of the fall was slowed down. So why does this happen? Well, one theory suggests it has something to do with a specific region of the brain. During stressful or negative situations, this region kicks into high gear, causing more of the brain's resources to be directed at making memories of that moment. These memories are richer in detail, and when they're replayed in our minds, they give us the sensation that they lasted longer than other low-resolution memories. This is even true in cases like PTSD, where people would rather the memories weren't so strong. Our emotions can also influence our perception of time. During the COVID-19 pandemic, people who say they're feeling nervous or stressed reported that time seemed to pass more slowly in any given moment, while those who felt happy, well, they tend to experience time passing more quickly. So yeah, that vacation really did go by fast, at least in your mind. What's a vacation again? But something interesting happens when we look back on these memories later. How is it September already? March feels like yesterday. We've all experienced that in some way, right? Even though time feels like it's passing more slowly in the moment, day after day of routines where nothing new is happening, our memory of the time period just seems to fly by. We can see this in action through something called the oddball effect. When you're exposed to the same image over and over and over, a new or different image seems to last longer, even when it's displayed for the same period of time. This might also explain why time seems to pass slower when we're young. When we're kids, everything is new. We were seeing everything for the first time. Creating memories of this never-before-seen information makes our brain work harder and makes time seem slower. But as we age, we have more routines, fewer new experiences filling our days, so time seems to flow by more quickly. It's almost like memories are the landmarks along the river of time, and the fewer that we have, the faster it feels like we're going. Thanks to COVID, many of us are bored, forced into routines where we experience less newness, and we're stressed, unhappy, or even frightened. So time is going by really slow in the moment and really fast in the long run. These emotional connections to the perception of time seem to be universal among humans, but the way we think about our physical place in time is not. We all experience time and space together.
As you travel faster, or if you find yourself in the vicinity of a higher source of gravity, time ticks more slowly for you than it does for other people.
Not now, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Listen, we all live on Earth. None of us are near a black hole or approaching the speed of light, so I'm not talking about the effects of relativity on whether time actually passes fast or slow sometimes. Okay? Thank you. Now, where was I? Take your finger and point to the past. Go ahead. I mean, if you're from a culture anything like mine, then you probably pointed back there. Yeah. Or did you point somewhere else? All human cultures seem to interpret time through spatial metaphors, as if there's a you standing in a physical location in time, with you either moving through it or it flowing past you. But have you ever really thought about how your daily perception of time is influenced by things like culture or history or language? For me, a person who lives in the United States and grew up speaking English, the past is behind me.
You gotta put your behind in your past. No.
That's why we say things like closing a door to the past, or this week flew by me, or knowing something ahead of time. When I think about the timeline, the literal line of time, it goes this way. How would you arrange these images? Speakers of languages written left to right will order them like this. while speakers of languages written right to left, like Hebrew, often arrange chronological events in space like this. And people who speak Mandarin Chinese, typically written top to bottom, sometimes refer to the past as above and the future as below. In Vietnamese and some South American cultures, the past, the before time, which is known to us and seen clearly in our memories, is in front of us. And the future, obscured and unknown, is what's behind. The Yupno people of Papua New Guinea orient their place in time with the contours of the land. The future is uphill and the past downhill. Look at these dots. The length of time between the flashes is actually the same, but this larger space makes it seem like the third dot takes more time to show up. No matter how we do it, or even if we realize it, we all make some link between space and time, and this can vary depending on where we're from. There is still a lot that we don't know about the connection between time passing in the physical world and time passing in the brain. But we're all living through a massive global human experiment right now in this pandemic about how our perception of time can change based on our experience in the world. In the eyes of physics, the difference between the past, present, and future might just be an illusion. But for us, a conscious animal with a mind, the journey through the past, present, and the future is remembered and experienced in ways that even Einstein would find mysterious. Stay curious.
Yes, sir.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this video.
I don't know about y'all, but that was very, very interesting for me. Just hearing it spoken again in my actual existence right here, not like back when I used to, go to school or study these types of things. It's a refresher. It feels refreshing to know that there's an understanding of these concepts that seem mysterious out there. It is an understanding out there. All right, let's move on past. That was my indulge me for a second. We gotta unlock our mind. So, genetics for dummies. Let's look at this real quick. Okay.
If you're taking anatomy and physiology for the first time, I can guarantee it's not like any course that you've ever taken. And that's why so many...
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Y'all enjoy this.
The week before the first day of my first year of teaching, well, over a decade ago, was an exciting time. It was also stressful because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but a bit of a messy, unable to decorate my classroom kind of perfectionist. Actually, maybe I'm not a perfectionist. I wanted to make my classroom inviting and exciting, and I really wanted my students to walk in and think, this is amazing. I could never make it look like what I imagined up, but the most amazing thing did happen in the week to follow. I knew a colleague who had a friend who had a son who was going to college. Confusing. But anyway, that son could not take his pet snake to college with him. Some rule about dorms and snakes. My colleague asked, would you like it? They said they can give you the cage and everything. It could be a classroom pet. I didn't even have to think about it, of course. So Spike, a Texas rat snake, became a classroom pet. An amazing, popular one at that. He was friendly, well, for a snake. He'd let you hold him and not bite. That year I was the only one in the science wing with a pet snake, and I'm pretty sure there were some people that wondered, what was the point? Well, I'm big on relevance, so anytime I would teach a biology concept, I found some way to work in Spike. Predation? Well, let's talk about Spike's appetite for rats. Mitosis? Let's talk about why Spike even needs to make more cells. One day in tutorials, a student asked me, since Spike's parents were bred in captivity, did you ever see Spike's parents? Do you think Spike's parents looked like him? You can't ask a question like that and not expect an answer. It was a great question because we were getting close to our heredity unit. Heredity is about how traits are passed down from parent to offspring. We've made a playlist of our videos that focus on heredity, including reproduction, how to track inheritance and pedigrees, how to solve genetic problems in Punnett squares, and understanding different Mendelian and non-Mendelian inheritance. But you really can't delve into those and study heredity without understanding DNA, chromosomes, genes, and traits. And that's what this introductory video is going to focus on. So back to the student question. Spike has traits. The patterns on his body, his size, these traits are coded for in his DNA. Some of the traits he inherited can be influenced by the environment. For example, if Spike had not had the nourishment he needed, that could affect his size. DNA is not just one big code buried deep down in an organism like some treasure. Spike's DNA is in the nuclei of nearly all of his body cells. He inherited his DNA from his mother and father. I can't know for sure what Spike's parents look like, but I do know that Spike inherited his DNA from them. One fun fact, many snake species can reproduce asexually. Had that been the case for Spike, he would have inherited all of his DNA from only one parent. But it would still be DNA coding for traits. Just like Spike, your DNA codes for your traits, and your cells can't function without it. DNA determines how tall you are, what color your eyes are, what color your hair is, or even if you're at risk for certain diseases. Also, like Spike, your entire DNA code is in most of your body cells. That's why in those crime-solving shows, which we may or may not absolutely love, a criminal can sometimes be caught by just leaving a cell from a hair follicle behind. DNA has a beautiful structure, and that structure will help you understand how inheritance works. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It's a type of nucleic acid. If you remember from our biomolecules, nucleic acid. It's a type of nucleic acid. If you remember from our biomolecules video, nucleic acids are a type of biomolecule. Nucleic acids are made up of building blocks called nucleotides. Nucleotides have 3 parts. One of them is a sugar called deoxyribose. One of them is a phosphate part made up of building blocks called nucleotides. Nucleotides have 3 molecules video. Nucleic acids are a type of biomolecule. Nucleic acids are made up of building blocks called nucleotides. Nucleotides have 3 parts. One of them is a sugar called deoxyribose. One of them is a phosphate. We sometimes say DNA has a sugar-phosphate backbone. But the most important part of the nucleotide is the base, because the sequence of the bases can actually code for traits. So, as far as the bases go, there are 4 types of bases in DNA. A lot of times they'll just use the letters A, T, C, G. The A is for adenine, the T is for thymine, the C is for cytosine, and the G is for guanine. These bases actually pair in a specific way, and there's a popular mnemonic that can help you remember which of them pair together. Apples in the tree? That tells you the A for apples, T for tree, because the bases A and T go together. The other verse is car in the garage, and that can help you remember the base C always goes with the base G. Regardless of whether we're talking about Spike, or a plant, or a protist, or a human like you, these are the DNA bases in living organisms. Yes, ma'am. But the amount of DNA bases overall, and the sequence of those bases we mentioned, will vary among different species, and also among different individuals. But it's likely to infer that Spike has a sequence of DNA bases that is more similar to his parents than he would to, say, a rattlesnake. DNA has 2 strands, so there are nucleotides running up one side, and there's nucleotides running up the other side. The bases are what pair in the middle. The bases are held together by hydrogen bonds. The DNA is also twisted in something we call a double helix shape. Portions of DNA make up genes. We can say, for example, that this part of the DNA here makes up a gene. Genes can code for proteins. Proteins have a huge role in expressing a trait. For example, let's consider your own eye color. Human eye color is actually pretty complex. It's determined by many genes. The genes can code for proteins involved in producing the eye color pigment. But proteins coded for by genes, they can play a wide variety of roles besides just your eye color. Proteins are involved in transport, in structure, in acting as enzymes that can make all kinds of materials, in protecting the body, and so much more. We do want to mention that not all genes are used to make protein, and there are parts of DNA that are non-coding. And even though nearly all of your body cells have your entire DNA code, your body cells may only use certain portions of those genes. Genes can be turned on or turned off by a variety of mechanisms. We call that gene regulation. Check out our video on that. Now, you have a lot of DNA. When it's compacted, it can be organized into a unit called a chromosome. Very helpful when you're trying to make more cells and you need to get the DNA into those new cells. Chromosomes in your body involve DNA wrapped around protein structures. Humans have 46 chromosomes. That means nearly every body cell in your body has 46 chromosomes. Human sperm and egg cells, on the other hand, each contain 23 chromosomes. So you receive cells, the cell in your body has 46 chromosomes. Human sperm and egg cells, on the other hand, each contain 23 chromosomes. So you receive 23 chromosomes from your mother and 23 chromosomes from your father to give you your 46 chromosomes, your genetic code. So let's do a recap of the big picture. Here's a single chromosome. You see genes on this chromosome. These genes consist of portions of DNA. DNA is made up of nucleotides, and it's these bases here, the sequence of them, that makes the difference in coding for traits. Whew. Understanding this foundation is essential for understanding heredity, whether you're talking about you or Spike. So this may bring up more questions now, like where do dominant and recessive traits come in? What about alleles, and how do you arrange those around a Punnett square? Well, you can explore those concepts and more in our heredity playlist. Well, that's it for the Amoeba Sisters, and we remind you to stay curious.
Thank you, Amoeba Sisters. I'm about to subscribe to y'all and get more content from y'all when I need to go back and look at curing disease, or if I need to see something biological, we coming to y'all. Thank you. The Amoeba Sisters. Yeah. All right, hold on, wait. Genetics of the mind. Let me see.
The work I'm going to talk about today is a transcriptomics study of microglia. So we look at each individual cell and we see the set of genes that they've turned on. And from that, we can get a little snapshot of what they're actively doing right at that moment. So when I'm looking at this picture, every dot in this picture is one individual cell. And the location and the color of the dot tell me a little bit about what that cell is doing right then. And the arrows are calculations that say, if we were to make a prediction of what state this cell will be in a few hours, what will it be doing? So for example, there are arrows from this purple cluster up here to this green cluster over here. And I know that the purple cluster is a group of microglia that look like they're responding to a virus, even though there's no virus around. And the green cells are cells that have already eaten another neuron. So what it looks like it's happening is a microglia is responding to these antiviral signals and then using those as instructions to go eat a neuron. And that's why you see this pathway from these viral response microglia that really don't see any virus at all to this group of microglia that seems to have a bunch of neuronal material in it. But we think it's because they actually ate them. And this picture beside it, you can actually see some imaging of microglia in green that have eaten cells. So the cell nuclei are labeled in blue, and all the little red and white dots are actually bits of RNA that tell us that these nuclei are actually from neurons because they're mRNA that code for proteins that are specifically made by neurons. And
Sorry, y'all, this is a lot of technical terms in there. Oh, man. That's fascinating to me. I just want to share something for a second. So, I love science, and I did go to school for a science-related subject, but I hated biology. And the reason I hated biology is because I don't get bored necessarily at school, or in class. I never really would get bored. I just would do other stuff than what was in the class. Like, all right, we in English class, I'm playing with the Rubik's cube. We in math class, I'm drawing pictures. We in art class, I'm talking. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't just get bored and like, oh my God, I'm bored. No, I don't want to. But I'm doing the work and I'm learning, but I'm also doing something else the whole time. So biology was a class where I was like, I don't even like being in here. This is like boring. Like, I don't want to learn this. I'm already here. We already multiplied, heredity, and I'm me. I got black hair and all of that. It ain't changing. So what do I need to learn? Why the cell mitosis and mesososis of oosis. But now looking at it, it's fascinating because I'm here. Like I got black hair. And, the mitosis and mesososis made me. And I didn't name myself. My mama named, well, I don't think she named me either. But you get where I'm going with this. Man, it's fascinating to me now. So sitting and listening to all of those DNA, RNA, I'm going to go meet her, take her on a date so she could talk to me about DNA and RNA. Anyway, sorry, y'all.
Great. The new GoDaddy Arrow has AI marketing tools to help
When I say genetic control, that's the belief that genes control our characters. When I say epigenetic control, almost sounds the same, but epi means above. So when I say epigenetic control, literally it's control above the genes. And this is what we now recognize, that the environment, and very specifically our perception of the environment, changes our genetic activity. So that means, well, wait, that's not a victim, because I can change my environment, I can change my perception, and all of a sudden, if I can do that, then I can control my genes. Well, we're going from victim to mastery. Every human, and this is a fact, every human first 7 years is download a hypnosis. The brain of a child under 7 is in a lower vibrational frequency. When you put wires on a person's head, you read electroencephalograph, reading brain activity. A child below 7 has a lower vibration than consciousness. It's called theta. Theta is imagination. Oh, that's how kids play a tea party with mud pies, but to them it's a real thing. A kid rides a broom, it's a horse. That's theta, imagination. Theta is also hypnosis. And the idea is this: before you can become conscious, if you don't have any programs, what are you going to be conscious of? It's sort of like I buy a new iPod and I take it out of the box and I push play and nothing happens, and you think, oh my God, I spent all the money and the damn thing isn't working. And then some little 7-year-old kid comes up and says, well, mister, you didn't download any music. How are you going to play something? And I go, that's the same thing. It's like the brain is like the iPod. Consciousness is the screen where I can create. But if I don't have anything in the hard drive, I can't create. So nature makes the first 7 years. What kind of programs are required to live on this planet? I say, how do you get them? Theta is hypnosis. You just watch. You watch your parents, you watch your siblings, and your community, because you have to learn how many 100,000 rules. Think about it. Just to be a functional member of a family and a functional member of a community, there are rules. I got to teach an infant these rules.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you don't have to. First 7 years, they observe it and just download it. And then I say, well, why is it relevant? Because this is the unfortunate fact. 95% of our life, this is a fact, comes from those programs in the subconscious. Every day, only about 5% of their life are you using conscious, which is creative. 5%. Look, this is not new. I mean, there's a famous book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And basically said you come from a poor family and you could struggle your whole life and try to get rich, but you're not going to make it. And if you come from a rich family, you could be stupid your whole life and make it. Right. Not because it was thinking, but it was unconscious behavior that was downloaded from rich families into kids, which is unconscious. So they're making the right moves unconsciously. If they engage their conscious mind, then they look stupid, but it's unconscious. And that's the same thing with poor people. Poor people have beliefs from the family. Oh, you can't make it, life's a struggle, things are hard, who do you think you are? And if that's the program you get, then 95% of the day you will sabotage yourself. And that's why poor people stay poor and rich people stay rich, because of the programming. Well, you see, here's the problem. 7 years is programming. And I say, well, what program did you get when you were 0 or 1? You go, I have no idea what the hell the program was. I say, 95% of your life is coming from the subconscious. Your life is a printout of your subconscious behavior. Oh, so you don't have to try and think about what happened. Right. I just say, look at your life. The things you like that come into your life come in because you have a program that supports them. But anything you struggle with, work hard at, put a lot of effort into making it happen, why are you working so hard? Inevitably, you have a program that doesn't support that conclusion, and you're trying to override the program.
Yes,
so,
yes, sir.
You don't need to do a lot of shrink and psychology stuff. You just look inevitably program that supports them. But anything you struggle with, work hard at, put a lot of effort into making it happen, why are you working so hard? Inevitably, you have a program that doesn't support that conclusion, and you're trying to override the program. So you don't need to do a lot of shrink and psychology stuff. You just look at your life and say, where am I struggling? Because wherever you're struggling, inevitably is a program in your subconscious that does not support that destination you've been looking for. I had the knowledge academically. It's like, oh my God, look at the research. What does it mean? I understood it from the level. And with all that knowledge, it didn't change my life. People read self-help books. I go, wow, you read the book. You got a lot of knowledge. I say, is your life changed? No, but you got a lot of knowledge. And so here's the difference. The conscious mind is creative and can learn in any number of ways. Read a self-help book, go to a lecture, listen to this program, and conscious mind's gonna get some awareness. And I go, yeah, but subconscious mind doesn't learn that way. I go, right, it doesn't. Subconscious mind learns in two fundamental ways naturally. Hypnosis, which is the first 7 years. And after age 7, how do you put new programs in? Repetition, practice. You want to drive a car, you didn't learn how by just getting in the seat and put the key in. You had to practice driving the car. You want to learn the alphabet. How many times did you go from A to Z? Try to go to A to Z before you can complete it. And once you completed it,
my bad, y'all.
You didn't have to go back and do it again. So 2 phases. You want to train the subconscious mind, hypnosis, repetition. I like the last one because there's a new phrase that's bandied about called fake it till you make it. Meaning, if you're not a happy person, I say, you want to be a happy person? Then repeat all the time, I'm happy, I'm happy. I say, well, you don't look happy or anything. I say, no, who am I talking to? By repetition, I'm talking to subconscious.
Exactly.
If subconscious gets, I am happy, and 95% of your life comes from that subconscious, there will be a point once the subconscious got, I am happy, you didn't have to say it again.
It's 9:15. How am I already underwater?
I'm in the same boat.
I'm in an actual boat.
All right, y'all.
I thought Grammarly.
I'm going to go ahead and get us up out of here for the day. Give us a little bit of Earl to listen to. And then we up out of here. I love y'all. And let's just keep on working. Let's keep on working. Keep on working. Keep on working. Keep on working. We are not just a floppy disk walking around that get programs downloaded on it and then put into a new body. No, we are deeper than that. Let's go.
If you can get a mental image of the person you would most like to become, begin now to act as that person would act in everything you do. Gradually, imperceptibly, you will actually become that person. It goes back to what the great German poet and philosopher Goethe once said. Before you can do something, you must first be something. Before you can do what you would most like to do, you must first become the person who can do it. If you can get a mental image of
Let me give you a plan that I guarantee will bring you just about anything you want in the next 5 years if you can buy it with money. Start getting up an hour before the rest of the family does in the morning. Sit down with a clean sheet of paper and think of 20 ideas for improving what you now do for a living. 97% of these ideas will be worthless. We know that. But some of them will be good. Now, what do you think the chances are of your getting the idea you've been looking for all the days of your life? The law of averages is on your side. And one idea can make you rich. You only need one. Let me give you a plan that I guarantee will...
In our lives, we often hear the words keep going or stay consistent, but what do they really mean? The truth is, consistency is not just about doing something repeatedly. It's about showing up, even when it's hard, when the progress seems small, or when life throws obstacles your way. Consistency is born from a deep commitment to your vision. It starts with a desire that fuels your every action. When you understand your bigger purpose, when you know why you're doing what you're doing, the power to stay consistent becomes that much stronger. It becomes a part of who you are, a reflection of your commitment to yourself and your dreams. In our lives, we often hear the words keep...
We become what we think about most of the time. And that's the strangest secret. This is why thinking is so vital. This is why a goal is so important, because we will become that. This is why people who set goals achieve them. The trouble with men is not in achieving their goals. They do that. It's in establishing them. We become what we... You see, the goose that lays the golden eggs is the breadwinner. The more money invested in him, the more golden eggs he can provide. Now, take you, for example, Jimmy, he said. You're 16, and like most boys your age, you don't know what you want to do with your life yet. You're confused. You haven't really been giving your best to your schoolwork because you're not sure you'll need a lot of the subjects you're studying after you get out of school. And not knowing what to do after you're an adult, you don't know what you'd want to major in at college. Now, what I want you to understand is that as long as you're getting an education, you're investing, we're both investing in this Goose. The more we invest here, the more golden eggs you'll be able to provide for yourself and your family someday. And if you're really smart, you'll never stop investing in the Goose, even after college. Each year, you'll invest a percentage of your income in your continuing education. You see.
No matter what, whatever your life situation, disease, death, divorce, whatever the hell is happening in your life, even if the worst things are happening to you, still there is no reason for you to get frustrated, miserable, depressed, whatever, because you came here with nothing.
Yes, sir. Oh, man.
Whatever is happening,
yes,
you're
sir.
Anyway on the profit side. And there is an assurance when you go, there is nothing to take.
Profit side. He said no matter what, you'll end up on the profit side. Wow. I didn't think of life like that. That's my man.
No matter what, whatever your life situation, disease, death, divorce, whatever the hell is happening in your life, even if the worst things are happening to you, still there is no reason for you to get frustrated, miserable, depressed, whatever, because you came here with nothing. Whatever is happening, you're anyway on the profit side. And there is an assurance when you go, there is nothing to take.
Right.
What are you crying about? What is it? No, you know what they said, what they did, they looked at me like this, they said that, they did this, they did that. It doesn't matter who did what. Just see what a dastardly thing you're doing to yourself when you make yourself miserable. Nobody has to do anything to you. If you are making yourself stressed, no matter what.
My favorite stuff is in that first encounter I have with him, and I'm asking him, do you know why you're here? And this is what has brought you to me. And that whole thing about, do you know what the Matrix is? And I go, it's all around us, you can feel it, all that stuff. It's really cryptic. Joe Pants and the agents, when he's talking to them and he's having the dinner.
Oh, yes.
He's having his steak.
That's almost ASMR. He's eating the steak and he pushes it.
And he's eating it and he's like, I know this steak isn't real.
Yeah, but my mind.
And I don't care.
Is telling me it's real. So we have a deal.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to remember nothing. Nothing. All that stuff is just, it's fantastic. My favorite stuff.
One of the fastest ways to create something in your physical reality is to reverse the normal process by which we create things. Usually we create things first by thinking about it. I think I'll go to that party. And then we say something about it, as in, Matilda, I'm coming to your party tonight. And then we do something about it, as in showing up at the party. That's generally how we produce things in our reality. In fact, everything in this room was once a thought. There is nothing that was not once a thought in someone's mind somewhere. But if you want to really play tricks with the universe and create magic with the stuff of life itself, reverse the thought, word, deed paradigm. Turn it upside down and start with the deed. That is to say, act as if. If you want to experience abundance, be abundant and do as abundance does. If you have only $5 left to your name, go to a store and get them made into singles. And take 5 singles and walk down the street and give a single to each of 5 people who have even less than you do. And by the way, you will find those people very easily. One of the fastest ways.
You don't have to love this little finger. If you understand this is just a part of me, everything is fine, in place. If you love it, that's going to be a stupid way to exist, isn't it? Right now, that is the stupidity you see in the world. There's no need to love anybody. If you experienced everything as this, then love is just a stupid thing. There is no need to love anything. There's no need to love different your body parts. It is just there and it's fine. Just like that, everything is there and it's fine with you. If you don't draw a distinction, it's fine with you.
I foresee the day where AI becomes so good at making a deep fake that the people who believed fake news as true will no longer think their fake news is true because they'll think their fake news was faked by AI. The day that happens, the entire role of the internet as a source of objectively true information will implode. And that will be the death of the internet, 1992 to 2028. Rest in peace. And the internet will return to just cat videos. Right. Because AI will be so good at faking news. I foresee the day
you know what? I'm glad we came across this video because that's like that has been a thorn, that has been a stick in my side for a minute now. The belief that that the technology is doing something that we don't already do. Let me explain something, and I'm glad we on this topic of unlocking or gaining access to our mind. All this stuff is reverse engineered mind. It was mind and it got reverse engineered. Ironically, the name of it is mind. I'm going to get my pickaxe and mine my mind. So all of everything you looking at around you, from your TV to your cell phone to the Wi-Fi in the air, is just reverse engineered mind. Like it was like, oh, let me break that down and pull it out of here and put it here. So you can, for example, the telephone. All right, I can go into my mind and talk to somebody that's not here. Talk to them, have full conversation. As a matter of fact, let me do it for 3 seconds. I don't know if that was a whole 3 seconds, but what I said to the person is, get the hell off my line. You know I don't want to talk to you. But anyway, they ain't here, so it don't matter. But if I was to call them on the phone and say that, they would be right. It's be like they right here. So it's just reverse. That technology that I did the first time, the phone is just reverse engineered from that. We can go to TV screens. We can go to everything from that. Radio, all of that. So first of all, let's just give praise to our mind. I don't know how to say it in Spanish. I don't know how to say it in Chinese. I don't know how to say it in nothing but English. But let's give reverence to our mind for a few seconds. If you are good health of body, able to do this, I suggest you do it. If you are in good health of body and you can do this, I suggest you do it. I'm not worried about the health of your mind. You ain't got to have good health of mind to give reverence from your body to your mind. Join me. If I could just get a piece of what my mind has to offer. I'm talking about, can you see that in there? Can you see that in there? This much of what my mind has to offer. My gratefulness. It's no word to explain how grateful I would be. And my mind is all mine. And I'm begging for a piece. God damn. Let me keep moving. I'm sorry, y'all.
Where AI becomes so good.
Another mistake that I believe the average worker makes is that he thinks he's working for the company. Again, he's wrong. Each of us actually is only working for himself. A great Southern educator tells the story of a wealthy man who was going to go to Europe for several months, and he called a builder he knew over to him, and he said, here's some money, and I've bought this lot over here. I want you to build me a beautiful home on that property. And then he left. Well, as soon as he was gone, the builder said to himself, well, with him out of the way, I can probably cut a few corners and make myself a pile of loot on this job. Now, this has been done, you know. So he did that, and he built a rather shoddy house instead of the good house he should have built. And when the wealthy man came back, the builder handed him the keys and said, well, there's your house. How do you like it? And the wealthy man said, well, that's a beautiful home, but it's yours. I wanted you to build it for yourself and your wife and children.
Here for the day.
Every hour of the day, each of us is building his own house, and it will be strong or weak, beautiful or ugly, depending only on the methods of construction we use.
I'm out of here for the day. I hope y'all heard that. I love you all. Please, please live this life for yourself and for the greatest good that you can give to yourself. I love you. We're going to watch some of this previous episode, and I'm going to get out of here on y'all for the day. Tomorrow, Fun Fridays, and this is DGTA TV. I'm going to get up out of here. Expansion Pack, it's out of here. Peace.
Great day. And you decide first thing in the morning by giving yourself that time to realign your brain to positivity, to redirect your mind to what is good in your life. What is good in your life right now? Take a moment to think about it.
Start your day with intention. Today, I will be present. Today, I will be kind. Today, I will be the example I expect of others. Today, I will give my all in every moment.
It's all about intention. When you direct your focus to the good, you will see more good. If your focus is directed to the stress and struggle, you will see more stress and struggle.
If you want to be really happy, give thanks. That's the secret. Happy people are grateful people. So spend time in gratitude. Spend time in intention and expectation for what a great day today is going to be. Feed your mind with something positive. Read or listen to something uplifting. Something that will grow your mind or spirit.
You attract your intentions. You attract your beliefs. You attract what you feel. So get up and feel good. When you direct your focus to the good, you will see more good. If your focus is directed to the stress and struggle, you will see more stress and struggle. That is your only job. Get up and get yourself feeling amazing. Ask yourself, how can I feel great today? How can I grow today? How can I make others feel great today? Open your eyes to the magic around you. I guarantee you, you have been missing out on miracles because you have been lost in the stress and noise inside your head. Get out of your head and get into the magic of life.
Today is a new day, a fresh, clean canvas. You can paint whatever you want on that canvas. No matter what happens, you are the artist. Add some color, some joy, some life to your canvas. Leave nothing off that canvas.
As soon as you get up in the morning, ask yourself, what's really important today? Is it important that I rush around stressed at everything I have to get done? Or can I just enjoy this moment? Can I set the tone for the rest of my day? You decide what kind of day you will have, not what happens.